Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Broke the Matrix podcast. This is where I want to interview people that have been very influential in my life. And Vash, I want to keep it real with you, bro. Me and you started at the same time. I've kept an eye on your journey, and you're somebody very, very interesting. And I haven't had the chance to pick your brain. So I wanted to, do it at the same time as with my audience. So my audience can see just the same way that I do, the transformational story that you've had, and also the journey that you're on, and hopefully, find a few nuggets, what we can use to, hopefully elevate ourselves too. So Vash, welcome to the podcast, and it's great to have you here, my bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Look, let's start it off with this. I want you to introduce yourself to the show and let people know who you are, what you do, and a little bit more about these skills that you've been working on.
Sure thing. So my name is Vash, even though that's not my original name because I'm from the Czech Republic, which is a small country in Europe, and my original name is Václav, but nobody can pronounce that in the English-speaking world, so I just call myself Vash. And basically just 3 short years ago now, I was still delivering food for Uber Eats. So I was on my bike in Liverpool, delivering food every day in wind, in rain, in snow, just trying to make some money, trying to provide for myself. And I always had this dream of having my own online business, but I just didn't know what to do. I didn't have any big idea like Tesla, Apple, right? I didn't have capital to make these ideas work. And one day I basically was on YouTube just scrolling through videos how to start online business, and this ad was keep popping up. How to start marketing agency, and I was like, what is this about? I don't even know what marketing agency is, so skip. Until I was stretching, so I couldn't skip because I wasn't by my computer. I watched the ad and I was like, this actually makes sense. And that's the moment I just bought a course, which was one of the biggest investment in myself back then, and really starting this journey on having my own online business. But I came across so many of my own fears, so many of my own bad habits, so many of my own insecurities about my language, how I look, how I speak, that I'm not good enough, that nobody wants to buy from me, all of these things. And that's the moment I met John Gab, that both of us know very well. And basically he helped me overcome this. He helped me master what we now call mastering my mindset. And in just 90 days, I hit my dream $10,000 a month, which usually people my age, our age, usually when they start their online business, that's their first goal. And basically I hit it in 90 days. And I look back and I realize, how come the same course another 3,000 people have, but maybe 2,900 something didn't get the result? Like you, me, we didn't have some secret part of the course. We didn't have some secret sauce. We had the same info, right, man? We had the same freaking information. How come some people get the results and some didn't? And all it came down to me was really the mindset, even though there comes a lot of things underneath that. That was the thing, because it wasn't the tactics. We all had the same. And so I continued this journey of agency. I still do even 6-figure month, and just automated there. And then with John Gab, we launched My Entrepreneur, which is my second business, which is basically teaching entrepreneurs how to master their mindset so they can go and achieve the goals they have in mind. And as the journey progressed, I launched also my software company, but we'll get all into that. But the main thing is that 3 years ago, I started with no experience with being just in a way broke, insecure, and in just 3 short years, I could transform to having my own 3 businesses.
It's always crazy hearing the story like that, bro. And every time I hear it, I get goosebumps with that type of thing, because I've been through that too. And I can really understand the emotions, and even sometimes how surprising it is to be the person that makes it. And when you start thinking, why is it that like you said, why is it that out of thousands of people, we are, or you are, or I am the person that has managed to do it? And it's crazy. So look, let's take it back. Let's take it back to the beginning. So you're in Liverpool, right? You're driving around on this bike. How long was you doing Deliveroo for? Or was it even Deliveroo?
Yeah, so it was Uber Eats, so similar to that. And it was around 2 years probably. So I was studying at the university, figure out how to start an online business, but the easiest way to make money for a living was to me Uber Eats. So that's what I was doing. Yeah, so if it was Uber Eats, and I was doing it for like 2 years, man.
And how, and English, is English your first language, or do you speak other languages as well?
No, so Czech language is my first. English was my second. That's why when I started the business, I was butchering people's names. I remember his name was Sean, but I call it Scene. I thought it's Scene. I don't know, it's Sean. So I was like, hey, Scene, how's it going? So I was butchering names. I was just mispronouncing, but this is what I see, Taro, that a lot of people give up when they encounter small obstacle or challenge, like, oh, English is my not first language, or I'm not good at selling. These are just excuses at the end of the day.
Well, pure excuses. And I often call it, tricks of the mind. When your brain's playing tricks on you, the closer and closer you get to success. I bet it was similar for you, right? When you was the delivery driving and you bought the course, your dopamine level was like this. And then as soon as you get into the course, your dopamine level is like down here. And everything's trying to tell you not to do it. Therefore, it's like, oh, well, is it going to work for me? Or there's another excuse that my communication isn't good. English isn't my first language, And and the closer you get to getting that first client, the worse and crazy these excuses get.
100%. It's these doubts. It's these doubts, man, in our head that like, can I do this? Will it work? What if I don't deliver the results? What if I need to go back, deliver food, whatever it is? But these doubts are stopping us. And ultimately, we have doubts when we lack confidence. That's it. Because if you had, let's say, 50 girls in your life and you are about to have another one, you are not doubting it. Like, can I have her? Hopefully she will like me. No, because you had so much experience. But because I didn't have any sales skill before, I was not confident because I've never done that.
Yeah, and it's like, it's kind of that nerve-wracking moment. That nerve-wracking moment, even when you go on your first sales call, and you're on there, you're reading off this script, or you're butchering up your words, or you're just waffling on the sales call, and not discussing the price. Well, one thing I'm very interested in, and me and you have never got to speak about it, and I really want to know, what was the shift for you personally that helped you go from no experience, all of these limiting beliefs, you don't know what to do, you just brought a course when you were stretching, and this video's popped up, and you brought off this random guy, right? What was the shift for you that helped you get that first client, that helped you send them proposals and just improve?
Yeah, so I wish I could say there was one shift that it was like all of a sudden like wake up call, or all of a sudden big aha moment. But you know what happened, man? I just committed. To do 3 things that I believe will get me there. So one of them is I will send 10 personalized videos to potential clients. So this was for me how to get new clients. Second, if I book a meeting, I want to make sure I close the meeting, so I would study sales for in 1 hour. And third one, my goal is 10 grand, but I never earned that money. I never had that sort of money. So I didn't believe it's possible from 0 to 10K. 10K back then was like $1 million.
Well,
right?
Half a year's salary in a month is like...
That's nice. Exactly. So I didn't believe. And if you don't believe it, you're not going to take action towards it. So I use visualization, which was my third task. For 15 minutes, I would visualize that I woke up, checked my Stripe, I saw the 10 grand, I ran into the kitchen, shouting, "Mom, Dad, I've done it," and we celebrated together, right? And the more I replayed it, with visualization is the brain and body doesn't know the difference what we visualize or what you experience. So after a few weeks, I was feeling like I'm 10K business owner because I saw it over and over again. And so there wasn't one shift. It was these 3 tasks I did every single day. And for 63 days, what happened? Nothing. 630 videos,
days.
no meetings.
Wow. 600 of personal Loom videos for every single proposal.
Yes, nothing.
That's discipline.
Nothing.
I respect that. That's discipline.
But for me is because I felt it's already done. I felt it's part of the journey, and I knew that with each Loom I'm getting better. With each sale I'm getting better. What happened? Day 63, I was like, this is the moment everybody gives up, except of me. And that was this feeling of my time is coming. And then in the next 27 days, I closed 10 grand of deals, and I hit it exactly day 9. Exactly day 9.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's what I'm talking about, because when people hear, I'm sure when people were first listening, and I'm very good at putting myself in other people's footsteps, right? I know for a fact, somebody listening, when they first heard that 90 days, it sounded, out of this world. It sounded fugazi to them. They thought, the 10K in 90 days, everybody says they can do it. And this guy's selling a coaching program, or he's got something to sell that he can do it in 10 days, 90 days, I can't do it too. But when you hear 63 days, 600 rejections, 600 video calls that you've gone out your way, invested your time and sent, and not one person has decided to exchange any type of money with you, and you didn't give up, that's when you see the discipline. And that's when people look at it and they go, you know what, this person deserved the 10 grand. And it's the same way the universe looks. You deserve to make it. You should definitely be proud of yourself, man. I do feel like that's a different level of discipline, my bro. So how did you do it? Because a lot of my viewers have read Atomic Habits. They were very into books and these type of things, and we love reading, and personal development. So I do know that there was some element of Atomic Habits and routine in place, and I'm very interested to know, what were your routines, or what habits, or what things along the way did you change to help you maintain that consistency along with the manifestation? Because I know we've all been listening to Glenn Howard on repeat, but along with the Glenn Howards, right? What was these intricate parts of your routines that you used?
1,000,000%. And let me go back to the books, because I speak to a lot of people, including myself. I read many books, but I had no results to show for, because now consuming content is not enough. What I realize is I need to apply it. So now when I read a book, I might read one book for a year because I want to freaking apply it. The same as with Atomic Habits. Some people do 30-day challenge, quote unquote, on waking up on time, but 3 months later, they're no longer waking up on time, right? So for me, bro, it was just power of consistency, and I knew one thing. I want to wake up early, not hit snooze button. I want to make sure that I get the most important tasks in the morning. I knew if I postpone the 10 videos for the afternoon, they're going to be extremely difficult. But some people start with the easy tasks, right? They need to order toothpaste from Amazon, so they do it in the morning, right? It's just like, because they want to pick the easiest task. But for me, is I woke up, meditation, visualization, no negotiable. I would do that, cold shower, and straight to number one task, which was for me 10 videos because they were most difficult. So that was huge for me. But the number one habit was visualization, hands down. Because if I didn't believe it's possible, I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. So for you, it was kind of, I would say that, I'll ask you, on the days that your routines went off, or they ticked, or they wasn't as perfect as you wanted them to be, And on the days that they were, you know, when you started doing just these little tasks, such as, you know, you've had the perfect morning, how good did you feel?
So I think this is so important is I really, even John said all the time, is like, I'm really good at being my best friend. What do I mean by that? A lot of entrepreneurs don't celebrate the small wins, but all these small wins will contribute to the big wins. So waking up on time, big win.
Exactly.
Focusing deeply on your business, big win. Going to gym, huge win. Saying no to distractions, huge win. So what I would do, Taro, is basically every time I would record 10 videos or I would wake up on time, I would high five myself. I would say, Vash, you did an incredible job, man. And programming myself to be best friend. Because what a lot of people do is small deviation, they wake up a little bit later and they said, oh, you fucked up. You know, what's the point anyway? And the whole day is ruined just because they slept a little bit. But what would I do in those moments? I would say, Vash, that's okay, man. What can we learn from this so it doesn't happen again? Few lessons, and they say, how can we win now? Okay, Vash, coach hour, we go at it again. So it was almost like being my best friend all the time. And I believe my feeling, because a lot of people say I feel good all the time, and that's true most of the time, is that contributed so much, because I believe when you feel good, you make good decisions. And when you make good decisions, you will get the results. And also, if you feel good, I truly believe at some level the law of attraction works.
100%. And no, that there is powerful, bro, because nobody's gonna support you like you're gonna support yourself.
Yes.
You know, and what's very interesting is the fact that you've managed to use, like, you're not sacking off the whole day. You know, if you failed one task, it's not the end of the world. You know, like you said, brush it off your shoulders and get back to it. So I can definitely see how you've managed to stay consistent for so long. You know, and my question to you would be, now you've started to make the money, now you've hit these milestones, and now you've hit these manifestation points. I've watched a lot of Bugsy Malone, and I'm sure we've all been through the same experiences. Once you start to hit those breakthroughs and those barriers, what are your next goals? What are the next things that you're looking for?
Yeah, so what I've observed with myself and a lot of successful students I coach is basically there comes a point where 99% of your needs are met. And almost for most of us, the 10K is the biggest breakthrough point, right? That's where you can travel. In most cities, you can afford really cool apartments. You can go to restaurants. You can do most of the stuff. And as your income increases over that, it's almost like yes, you can do private jets and these type of things, but it's not going to give you 1,000,000% happiness.
Yeah,
just
you
convenient.
don't get the dopamine. Yeah, literally, you don't get the dopamine hit off it. Like, the dopamine hit off that first 2K payment can never be hit again.
Exactly, man. So for me, the goal start to transition is to, let's say I enjoy speaking with people like yourself. I enjoy coaching people. So now it's almost like not hitting this financial number, which used to be the case. It's about, let's say, the students impacted, the reach gotten.
Exactly.
Or I really enjoy like making the money in the company so I can reinvest it to reach even more people, you know?
Exactly. And in all frankness, that's how you become mega rich. You know, that's the weird part. The weird part is that your value is based on the impact that you deliver on other people. And
Yep.
This is where a lot of people, when they hit that 10K mark, fall off. Because you've got to remember, a lot of people can make 10 grand a month. And coming out of the bull market, how many of the people watching this have had a 10 grand portfolio, a 50 grand portfolio, you know, 100 grand in Binance? And it's all gone because they don't carry no value to people. They don't carry no impact to other people. And you have to develop yourself to be able to give it to other people. So I completely agree. So before I take up any more of your time, I wanna talk a little bit about the breath work. I want to talk a little bit about this a mindset shift. So can you tell me a little bit about your breath work, what you do with this, and how it can help entrepreneurs and young entrepreneurs achieve their goals?
Yes, powerful question. So I'm always looking for how can I help people transform quicker? It's almost like, right, you can read a book, you can do certain things, and maybe in a year you change. Maybe then we can do some mentoring and you can change in 3 months. Maybe I can meet with you for a week and I will change you, right? But it's always like quicker for me. How can I transform people quicker? And I started looking for breath work. And most people connect, let's say, breath work with Wim Hof, for example, when you do his 5-10 minute daily practice. But the breath work I discover is what I call breath work journeys, which are hour long.
No, really?
And what's the benefit? So you go hour long because what I've noticed is in the past, all of us went through some emotional experiences that we quote unquote didn't complete. So let's just say you had a terrible breakup and you didn't want to feel it, so you rather distracted yourself. Some people use alcohol, some people use video games, some people started working harder on their business, some people use porn, whatever, right? So you distract yourself from that emotion. Or you lost your first client and you don't want to face it. And what happens is, yes, you no longer feel it, but where did that emotion go? It didn't leave you. It's still somewhere within you. And then some small thing can happen and it will trigger you. You know those angry people who, they get road rage about anything, about just small car going quicker than them and they start going crazy. It's not because of them, it's because of there's so much anger already within them. So any small thing just triggers it, right? And some people have it in insecurity, some people have it with sadness, whatever. And what happens during this breath work, man, is almost these old experiences, these old unresolved emotions can come to the surface and people have safe environment to release them. So some people shout, some people cry, some people laugh, some people shake. And that's just the body's way to release the energy, the unresolved emotions. And why is it so powerful, man, that some people just release, let's say, anger, and then they feel so free. They easily achieve their goals, or all of a sudden they start feeling more worthy or confident. And so this is a quick way for me to access the subconscious mind to release anything that is almost garbage in us. And that's what we've been using with our students now to just help them overcome these limitations they didn't even know they have.
Well, that's a powerful thing, bro. And I can definitely relate, personal experience I've had coming from, when you come from the hood, you see some mad shit. When you come from the ends, you see some mad shit, and that's exactly what you do. I can 100% tell you. When times get tough, you distract yourself. You distract yourself with social situations, right? You go out there, you just make yourself busy. You distract yourself with computer games or bad habits of any of them, yeah. or even alcohol or partying, right? Why do people go out every weekend? And when you go out and you go to a club, how many of the people, when you actually look at them, are actually having a good time, right? They're all running away from something. Yeah, they're running away from something, right? You will see me in the corner getting lit, right? Vibes, right? And then celebrating a victory, right? A private victory. Or you'll see somebody else going out with their partner. But 80% of the club is numbing, right? So it's very interesting. I do relate. And there is a lot of history behind it as well, like the Kundalini, and Indian breathwork, they call it breaking that fourth wall. So what different types of things have you seen in this? And what barriers have you seen people break?
Yeah. So because sometimes I do them like in person, even online, and I always tell people, if you saw what I saw, it's like, because like like some of these releases seems like almost like these primal or these demon-like.
Yeah,
Like
it's demon.
crazy.
Yeah, it's because you're facing your demons, man. It's the character that people, because look, if we get the book, we get the book, the laws of human nature, right? Whenever you're around other people, you're not necessarily your true self. And people sometimes carry that in private, and next thing you know, it becomes them. And they don't even realize that they're not who they think they are.
Yeah.
And I bet when this happens, you see like some shit.
Yeah, and almost I can separate it into two types. So the first type could be, let's say, the beginners. Let's just say, if we take the example of business, investing, anything, right? They're beginners. There's usually a lot of fears stopping them from taking action. And these people usually release this unnecessary fear. They just realize, fuck, I'm powerful, I can do that. So for them, it could be almost shaking it out, right? So they might shake out and then open their eyes and they say, man, I feel so light. And a few weeks later, they achieve the goals they couldn't achieve for years. And then we have more of these advanced people who are like high achievers. They achieve loads of goals, but they're still not happy. They always chase the next goal, but they never feel fulfilled. And these guys usually laugh because they realize, man, I've been so hard on myself and I didn't enjoy the fruits of my labor. Like, if somebody told you 3 years ago, man, that you would be living the lifestyle you live, you would be like, no way, right? You would be like, what?
Bro,
right?
Sometimes I look like I'm so blessed to have, when we speak about Snapchat, right? We speak about the story of Snapchat. Well, I was using the app, it was the whole come up. And then obviously I turned off the phone, made the money, right? Turned it back on basically, right? So on Snapchat, you can see all the snaps up until the Iman Gaji event, right? All the snaps of all those guys, the Snapchats of me going back and getting to it. And then the moment I made that switch where it goes off. And now when I go back and I look at the memories, bro, it's emotional. I get emotional looking at them. Like, I cry, bro. I'm looking at the thing like, wow, like this was really me. You know, it looks like a different person when you look back to it and you look at all the bad habits and the things that you was doing to stop you from achieving such basic, simple tasks. No, it's crazy.
So that's why I tell people you need to celebrate those wins, because it's so easy to overlook. Like, you might say, like, man, but I haven't hit my record month this month. But bro, like just a few years ago, you wish you made even $100 from your business, right? Now you're making thousands, whatever it is. So I like to really reflect, even on days, every day, asking myself, what did I do really well today? What did I enjoy? Because I always tell people, like, if you have a monetary goal, you don't want dead people on pieces of paper. Honestly, that is not what you want. You don't want the money.
Yeah, exactly.
You want what the money gives you. And what it gives you is a feeling. Because Tai could tell me, Vash, I want money so I can travel. Okay? If you travel, how do you feel? He would say, man, I feel such a freedom. And he might say, Vash, why you want money? And I might say, I just want to help out my parents. Okay, if you help out your parents, how do you feel? And I say, man, I just feel proud of myself. Right? So ultimately, all of us are chasing a feeling. Exactly. That's why we want the external things. So I tell people, don't wait. Don't wait until you get a business to the 100 grand, because it might take you years. Who knows? So you don't want to spend 3 years chasing unhappily what you want.
Grinding.
Rather, go straight to the feeling, because all of us can feel proud. All of us can feel happy, freedom now. We don't need to wait.
Exactly. And as you said earlier, your brain doesn't know the difference. Exactly. It doesn't matter where you are. Time is not linear. Linear time is all we created from when we was Neanderthals, looking at trying to figure out how the solar system works. That's when we made the day. Okay, it's light now, it's dark now. That's morning, that's night. That's not actually how it works. Your brain doesn't understand that. It doesn't know the difference between whether you're actually sat there driving a Lamborghini, whether you sat there thinking you drive a Lamborghini. I used to sit there, put £20 on my ceiling, and every time I go to sleep, sit and stare at this £20 note. I just imagine imagine the feeling associated with it, right? And all the great things I'll be able to do with money. That would put me in an abundance mindset from that feeling. So, yeah, I love it, bro. And I could chop this up all day, but I want to leave people guessing for the future calls, right? So, I'm gonna leave it at this. I want to ask you a question, Vash, right?
Yeah,
So,
go for it, man.
the question on the very first episode of Broke the Matrix, this is the trend that I want to continue. And it's a trend of questions that I've managed to use to learn a lot very quickly. And you would know, Vash, what do? We learn from other people's mistakes, so we don't make them ourselves, right? And we learn from other people's successes, so we can replicate them, right? And deliver more value. So the question I want to ask you, Vash, is in life, throughout this experience, you've gone from stuck in Liverpool, pissing it down with rain, nothing to your name, barely speak English, shit, right? To now, right? Changing people's lives, delivering an impact to thousands of people. And honestly, from my perspective, I can honestly genuinely see that you're living your purpose. So on that journey, what was your biggest success and what was your biggest failure?
So let me start with biggest mistake, because that will be big one. So what I realized is that for a goal to be achieved, you need to be consistent. That's almost what I truly believe in. You can't go to gym for a week, expect to have six-pack. You can't expect to do 1 week cold calls and expect to have $1 million business. So I believe in consistency, but consistency requires one more step, which is knowing your reason why you want it in the first place. And my mistake was this. My agency was doing around $20,000, $30,000 a month. And my friends asked me, so what's next for you? What's your next goal? And I didn't know, honestly, because I surpassed all of my goals. And I asked them, what do you want? And they said, we go after 50 grand now, because they were pretty successful as well. So I said, I want 50K too. But just from that, it wasn't my goal. I didn't have any why. Like, what's the difference between 30K and 50K? In my lifestyle, nothing back then. And so what I noticed, Daryl, the next weeks, I was just kind of almost dragging myself to the desk. I'm this energized guy. I love working on my business, but the next weeks I was just dragging myself. And I realized the mistake I made, I set a goal that wasn't mine, that somebody else almost set for myself.
A false purpose. I can see that. I can see that.
So,
yeah, go on.
Yeah, go for it. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I can relate.
Yeah. So that was kind of a mistake that I always look back, that I always tell people, like, for consistency to work, you need to have strong reason why, and almost the success that comes with it, because I think it nicely ties together. I got almost angry. I was like, what's going on? How come I don't want to work on my business anymore? And I realized it was the goal. It was the reason why behind that. So I sat down and I realized, okay, Vash, what do you want now? And I remember when I was at uni, I really enjoyed a charity called Charity Water. They're providing clean water to countries in Africa. And I donated just 10 pounds probably. And I realized, man, imagine building a whole water system to one village, not helping one person, whole village. So I called them. They gave me the number for the project. And I said, that's the reason why. That's what I go after. And what happened in the next 2 months, I sponsored a project. And as a result, I also hit 57K. So I achieved the 50K goal, but not by chasing the 50 grand. What I was chasing was 400 people raising their glass of clean water telling, thank you, Vash. And so that's the success I want to share with you guys. If you have a strong reason of why you want it, it's close to your heart. It's not my goal. It's not Tyrell's goals. It's not Grant Cardone's goal, whoever you follow. It's your own goal. Then being consistent is easy. Because if I had a gun to the listener's head and said, if you miss a day, sorry, bro, you're finished. The person wouldn't say, oh, I'm tired today. Let me do it tomorrow, right?
Oh, my knee.
Wouldn't skip it.
And I'm sure this is the thing as well. It's like when you do set those broad, audacious goals without broad, audacious beliefs, it doesn't add up. You know, if you start setting these goals to make, you know, what to you is broad, $10,000 a month, this broad, audacious goal, but you haven't got no broad emotion to it, this big why, this big meaning, this big hero purpose behind it, then of course you're not going to achieve it, you know, because there's no effort behind it. There's no need to do it.
There's no meaning. And I tell people think, okay, so I need to save the world, right? That's what you're saying. No, your reason why could be so individual. But for me, guys, the first reason why wasn't a charity. My first reason why for making 10 grand was never sit on the fucking bike ever again. And that was such a strong reason that I would never miss a day. Even if I haven't achieved it after 90 days, I would just keep going because I knew it's inevitable. I don't know a single person who's done something consistently towards their goal and didn't achieve it. I don't know any single person.
There's not a soul. And this is the craziest thing. If it was so successful, everybody would do it. Well, yeah, it is. So it is so simple, and everybody does achieve it. Who actually does do it? It's most of the people quit or they don't start. That's actually, and it's so crazy because me and you are only human, right? But to some of these figures that people here are unimaginable, or to some of the impact of people that do watch this and they do make, you know, they do make good money, right? The impact and purpose and energy that they probably feel right now is unrelatable to them. Why? Because they're probably chasing a false purpose. And it can probably recognize that, hold on, you know, these people are happy. You know, these people are living a good life. Why? It's meaning, right? You're chasing your purpose. Now relate, you know, because personally, you know, before this call, we were speaking about, you know, going to Dubai and traveling to Dubai. You know, I achieved all of my goals. Like I could wildly believe in the space of like a year and a half. So I went from 10K to millions. There was nothing in between. I didn't go to like scale into any, I just went like that, like a bull market, crazy, yeah? And I had to go and pull myself to solitude in Thailand, to sit down and write new goals, to sit down and make sure that my meaning wasn't artificial, right? It wasn't artificial, like you say, you know, you don't want to chase someone else's goal, but to do that, you know, you have to make sure that you're in solitude. You know, to do that, it has to come from the soul.
Big point, man. I'm so happy you raised it up because so many people might say, okay, I need strong reason why. And they spend 10 minutes on it, right? But you might spend a month, 6 months, 5 years chasing it. So you want to make sure it's close to your heart. And it might seem crazy to others. Like I had this student who said, Vash, I don't care about cars. I don't care about a house. I just want flat, but I want to be able to go to 5-star restaurants every night. And you know, the most people, it will be
He'll be like, this guy's insane.
You know, it's like, what's great about it, but he just hated like how for years he had to cook for himself because he didn't have the money. And that was, I could see it in his eyes. He's so passionate about it. Of course, he went to achieve it. I gave him a ring, and I was like, how you're doing? He said, I'm living my dream. You know what? I go to 5-star restaurants every day. And, you know, so it could be so personal. You want to be the guy who lives in the highest building in New York, or you could be the guy who just lives simply, and you have just some passive income. So it's really thinking in solitude, what would make my life like a vacation? Like what would make just my life enjoyable? And that's your goal. That's what you chase.
And that's the craziest thing. It's a snowball effect because while he's thinking about, I'm this person who eats out every day, he naturally collects all of these positive traits to associate to the person that eats out every single day. You know, to eat out every single day, you can't do that for too long before you get fat. So what do you have to do? Work out, right? To eat out every single day, you can't eat every single day, otherwise you get broke. So what do you have to do? Make money. So now all of these other things associated, he's making money, he's living healthy, delivering more impact to the world to achieve a simple goal of eating out some Jamie Oliver shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Because all the businesses, or if your audience is more into investing, all of that is still a vehicle to get somewhere, you know?
Exactly.
It's just a tool. So his business allows him to eat in restaurants every day, right? Maybe my business allows me to impact people and, of course, live the lifestyle I have. Your business allows you to just take time off in Thailand or buy anything in Thailand or travel freely. So it's still a vehicle to the goal.
Exactly.
So that's it. That's it.
And this brings me to the success. So what was the biggest success?
I still think going back, still not giving up, honestly, on the first 90-day challenge, because the 90-day challenge I've now complete. I'm basically on 90-day challenge all year.
Every day.
So I complete one and I just continue. To me, it's like the fastest way to progress towards any area of your life. So for 90, to make it practical for your listeners, let's do it.
Hey, bro, I don't feel, just to jump in there, bro, I don't feel myself if I'm not on that routine. If I go away from that first routine we did on that program, if I go away from that and I diverge from that for too long, bro, I just like disappear. I don't feel whole. As soon as I get back to waking up at the same time, meditating every single day, working out, breaking out my important tasks at the start of the day, that's when I feel like Tyrell. I don't feel like myself if I'm not doing that.
Agree, man. So let's make it practical for all the listeners, because again, I truly believe that you need to implement what you are learning. Otherwise, it's just nice dinner conversation. So basically, 90-day challenge for us is you write down a vision. So if 90 days I could achieve certain thing in my life, what would that be? Again, spending some time. Then why you're never going to miss a day. That's the reason why. So I would ask myself, okay, Vash, why you are not going to miss a single day on your 90-day challenge until your 10K goal when I started is achieved. And I would write down the reasons why I'm actually doing that. And then I would choose 3 tasks that will get me closer. So for me, it was a task that grew the business. 1 task was getting better at my skill set, and 1 was visualizing. And this is a 90-day challenge that I'm always on. Basically, I just shift the tasks or I do different things. And basically, my biggest success was the first one, because I know most people, honestly, Daryl, gives up day 20. They tell me this grandiose goal. They come on a call and they said, Vash, I just want to help my mom because she did so much for me. I love her deeply. I want to give her the best life. And day 20, they miss. Day 21, they miss again. So for me, talk is cheap. And for me, it's really staying consistent. And that's my biggest success, that I didn't give up. Because if I did give up, we wouldn't have this conversation today.
And that's the thing, man. That's powerful, man. That's powerful. So look, I'll leave it on that. You know, for those of you guys that don't know, this is Vash, the big boss. Listen, Vash, tell them where they can find you after this, bro.
Yeah, so I believe best one is in my Instagram. So if you have any questions, just go to Vash. That's VASH_Tomanek, TOMANEC. And that's where you can shoot me any questions if you just want to learn more. Same name, I also have my YouTube channel, so go check it out. And I provide so much value because I truly want to help people and I want to see more happy entrepreneurs out there. So just go check it out. And if you have any questions, just shoot me a DM.
100%, man. Vash, thank you for having me. And thank you for your time, bro. I really do appreciate it. And guys, make sure to also check out myentrepreneur.com. If you don't know what myentrepreneur.com is, when you see my videos of me videoing, I'm in the room, I've got all my goals written out, and then you see a few months later, I'm smashing my goals, making $10,000 per month, and achieving all these crazy things. It came from myentrepreneur.com. So make sure you guys go check that out too.
Thank you very much, Daryl. It was such a pleasure speaking with you. Pure false statement.
My bro. Beautiful. I'll speak to you on shoot me a message on WhatsApp and stuff. Yeah. Take care.
Take care, man.
Peace.